The world of IT is constantly transforming, and this constantly challenges you. So, one thing that really stands out is that you have to constantly learn. If you really think about the scale, 50% of your IT operations cost is your servers, your software, your assets. The remaining 50% is the people and the business processes that you invest in toward the IT processes that you invest towards your business processes.
Hello and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Pancholi, and today's episode brings you into the mind of someone who doesn't just lead delivery, he redefines what delivery leadership can look like at scale. With over 19 years of experience, a track record of transforming global IT operations, and the rare ability to turn around multi-million dollar contracts, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome Mr. Arunprassath Gnanasekaran. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me here, and I look forward to having a wonderful discussion and a candid discussion with you today.
Likewise. And I have to say, Mr. Arun, it's not every day that we speak with someone who has managed delivery footprints across geographies, pulled contracts back from the brink, and still found the clarity to drive compliance, culture, and cost efficiency all at once.
Well, it's something that I've had the pleasure and I've had the blessing of several others to work with me to contribute to my thoughts, to cultivate the kind of culture that I wanted to bring towards the service delivery organization that I am usually responsible for. So this is never an effort of an individual. This is a combined effort of a lot of people who have trained me, who have coached me, who've guided me, and who've worked with me and who've worked for me as well. So it's definitely a collective and a team effort that puts me in the position that I'm in today.
Great. All right. So now that we are settled in, why don't you take us through your journey so far, just in your own words, how it all started?
So I started with a few service desk, a very junior, almost an IT call center type positions in the early years of my career. And right after that, I've stepped into one of the giants in the IT industry, IBM. This is where my career has actually taken a peak. So IBM opened the doors for me in a middle management position where I'm able to understand the impact of the IT services that you deliver to the business, the real business that is actually using your IT infrastructure and IT services, right? So that really put me in a position, placed me very well in a position where I'm able to connect to the business leaders quite often. So one thing that we've always had to remember is that it's IT is always an expense. IT is always a vehicle for the business to continue to deliver what they wanted to achieve. So if you constantly have this in your mind, if you constantly understand the industry for whom you're delivering your IT services, whether it is a pharmacy, it is a manufacturing industry, or it is a banking, it is a financial sector, the one thing that you'll always have to understand is that IT is a service that the business actually consumes. Business first, business's priorities first, then comes IT. When you have this mantra very clearly understood, you're able to make sure that the IT services that you deliver are definitely achieving the goals of the business. So this is what I have been able to learn. I have been able to mature. I have been able to make sure that all the team members who are working with me and working for me also have a good understanding of the IT operations' impact and contribution to the business services. And that's what made it possible for us to be here today.
That's such an incredible journey, Mr. Gnanasekaran, and it's always refreshing to hear how these moments stack up over time.
Certainly, yes. I do remember the time when I was a very junior manager in the organization, and I was usually very conscious about, me, my work, my team, without a real understanding of the business. But over time, when you start interacting with the business leaders, and you also have good mentors and very senior professionals in your organization who are there to guide you, coach you, you over time understand that your role is not actually just maintain the systems. Your role is to make sure that you are providing a capability for the business to continue to deliver the business objectives.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, that actually brings me to something I really wanted to ask you. You have managed delivery for accounts worth over $300 million. But what really stood out was how you brought a client back even after a termination notice had been issued. That's not just leadership, it's trust, timing, and instinct all at once. So, when you walk into something that critical, what's the very first shift you focus on to start changing the direction?
Well, it's easier said than done. So when you enter into these conversations with the customer, you need to first trust your customer that he or she is making the right choice, which is needed for their business. As long as you don't put your agenda forward, you're truly willing to listen to the problems of the client, the ambitions of the client, and how they are willing to prepare, or what is the preparation they are going through in order to reach this ambition or problem resolution. You are able to start engaging in meaningful conversations with the customer. When that happens, your customer starts to trust you. You may have lost trust before the contract would have been terminated, and in this case it was certainly due to completely uncontrollable influences from the external market, with a few acquisitions of a major cloud service provider of ours, some shift in software pricing, etc. So we were not able to come into a pricing agreement, which led to the termination. But then we understood, having discussions with the customer, that the customer is not really annoyed with this or unhappy with this. The customer was really searching for a solution that makes them cloud agnostic, which means they're not dependent on any particular cloud solution. They're able to freely move from one to the other. And they also wanted to keep their cost and compliances in control. So when we understood this, the conversations from there has become really easier for us. The customer starts to trust you. You're able to find the solutions that really solves the customer's problems, and eventually you're able to find a win-win solution that brings the client back to your organization.
Absolutely, and that's very powerful, Mr. Gnanasekaran, because it's in those moments right on the edge where leadership really shows up. The clarity you brought into a complex, tense situation, that says a lot. That says a lot.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, continuing our conversation, the shift from traditional data centers to a future-ready operations model for one of the UK's largest banks, no less, that must have been a massive shift. And I can only imagine the complexity behind the scenes. So, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced during that transition? And how did you find your way through it?
Right. So challenges. The first and foremost biggest challenge is that the client is outsourcing for the very first time, and they're not starting outsourcing in small numbers. They are outsourcing their entire IT operations. So we're talking about 30,000 servers, 30,000 servers to power the bank's IT operations, right? And they're also transferring 1,000 of their IT staff employed with the bank to our organization. So then you have to understand that people come with different mindset and they have a lot of questions. It's a new culture. So, that's another massive challenge. Three, we've had to deal with a bank which is deep rooted in its legacy, being one of the oldest, most legacy banking network in the United Kingdom. So for them, although modernization is an ambition, they are very deep rooted in their own beliefs and the methods through which they work. So to to get a sign off on any deliverable, they doubt themselves initially. It's the speed and the scale at which you need to deliver the future mode of operations, infrastructure, cloud systems, and the new processes, the new ways of working is, is also a shock for the customer, although that's what they've asked for. So they needed to process this, they needed to understand this, they need to be confident, and they also need to sign off to say, yes, I'm good with this, let's go ahead. So these were some of the challenges. How did we tackle these problems? Well, it wasn't an easy journey. So one thing that we truly believed in is the power of minds of good people, good leaders put in a small room. So the first few weeks have really been us bringing the whole global team who are involved in this solution, bring them all into a room, lock us ourselves in, put our minds together, keep our differences aside, and try and work on the solutions up to the point where we think this is perfect. Now, when the client also participates in some of these workshops, the client goes through the process, the client goes through, witnesses the process that we go through to deliver a what can be a perfect solution, keeping in mind that it's about maintaining the bank's legacy, the bank's brand, the bank's services, the importance of delivering the services for their end customers. So it could sound a bit philosophical, but the journey and the effort that we put ourselves to deliver the solution and how it's witnessed by the client was the first win for us. Again, there, the foremost important thing is to gain the trust. Once we get that, we have our expertise. We know how we can manage and scale a complex IT solution. Technology is not new for us. Technology is something that we breathe in and breathe out every day. It's always difficult to just win the trust and the confidence of the customer that they are going through this journey together with the right partner. So that's how we crack the problem.
And that really gives us a glimpse into just how layered these transitions are. And hearing how you navigated it with that kind of clarity and calm, it's genuinely impressive.
Thank you very much.
And that actually ties into something I have been meaning to ask you. Mr. Gnanasekaran, managing over 250 people across geographies while running different delivery models, that's not just about process, that's about people. And in the middle of all that scale and pressure, how do you personally lead in a way that keeps your teams connected, motivated, and aligned to the bigger picture?
Again, gaining the trust of the people is also a very, very important thing. I don't sit in my own cabin. I usually am seated right in the middle of my team. So they usually witness the conversations, and I try to be as transparent where it is allowed, where it is possible, as much as possible. So the team are usually um, communicated about our priorities, communicated about the objectives, the goals that we wanted to achieve, why, and I try and find a way to make sure that all of the team members who are working with me fully understand the target operating model, the milestones that we want to achieve to the target operating model. So this gives them the confidence that they are not working for me, they are working with me. Once we break this through, then it's about understanding the intimate needs of some of the people, their financials, their living conditions, their personal requirements. So it's something that if you really have empathy and if you really show empathy and sympathy to some of those challenges, you actually start to win the trust of the people. It's not always easier to retain. The retention rate is quite good in my team generally. And it's usually because of the amount of transparency that I show with my team members. And it's a global team, so uh, some of our team members are affected by geopolitical situations as well. So you also have to understand how to deal with people who come with the mindset, having seen some geopolitical impact in their neighborhood or for themselves as well. So the only thing that really will work is full honesty, transparency, and willingness to be available for your team members.
Rightly said, Mr. Gnanasekaran. Because when leadership is stretched across continents, it's not just the tools, it's the mindset, people, and consistency that hold it together. Really valuable insight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So hearing all this, I can't help but look ahead a little, and you have already led it scale, turned around critical accounts, and driven transformation across industries. But what's next for you? Are there aspirations you are now setting your sight on? Maybe even in terms of stepping into more strategic or boardroom roles in the future?
Well, the the world of IT is constantly transforming, and this constantly challenges you. So one thing that really stands out is that you have to constantly learn. If you really think about the scale, 50% of your IT operations cost is your servers, your software, your assets. The remaining 50% is the people and the business processes that you invest in toward the IT processes that you invest towards your business processes. So, in this dynamic world, when everything constantly keeps changing and then you need to keep upgrading them, there is an increase in the IT spend entirely in the market. My objective is to be one of the influencers in being able to give proper consulting solution and advices to people or business leaders with large scale IT operations, how to keep their costs low, still keeping their business processes supported by good quality modern IT infrastructure. In order to achieve this, I still have a long journey ahead of me to learn uh, FinOps or financial operations, IT asset management, etc., etc. And I'm hoping that this learning will continue to keep me relevant in this business. As long as I am relevant in the business, the role and the contributions that I'm able to offer will just continue to fall in line.
That's such a thoughtful way to look ahead, Mr. Gnanasekaran. And it's clear that your next chapter will be just as impactful as the path that brought you here.
I sincerely hope so too. Yes, thank you.
All right. So, with everything you have led so far, there is one space I would love to bring into this conversation. Given your experience in leading large scale operations, compliance models, and stakeholder alignment, how do you see ESG principles influencing the way delivery leaders like yourself operate today?
Well, as I said in the in a response to one of the previous questions, the world of business processes continuing to rely on IT operations a lot more. Almost all the businesses now must have an IT operations presence, which means you're not only spending towards your IT operations, you're also influencing a culture where you know people, how they visualize business, how they consume business, rely a lot more on IT. So you need to make sure that the IT that you provide, the IT that you deliver, takes into consideration that it doesn't harm the environment. It doesn't take away the real livable environment that you want to have around. So I do simple things that I constantly keep looking for optimization opportunities. I try to reduce the infrastructure footprint. I challenge my team when they wanted to add new servers. I challenge my customers sometimes when they wanted to add new servers. Just tell them, is this really a requirement? Must you do this? I try to create a very small council whose only job is to keep looking for IT infrastructure and free them up. So if you continue to address the waste, your and you address non-value add IT presence, you continuously modernize your servers to more green friendly servers, your somehow able to contribute to this GEC ambition that we must all have as leaders in this organization or in this globe.
Absolutely. That's such a balanced state, Mr. Gnanasekaran. And it really highlights how ESG isn't just a boardroom term anymore. It's something that's being lived and led on the ground every day.
It is in essence. If you really think about it, the number of people who are actually seated at your desk, with your IT work nature, there's a danger of the health of the people deteriorating as well. So in my team, there is always a wellness program as well. We always create a hybrid working environment, so people are given the flexibility to work from home. They are given the flexibility to work from office. So you're able to create what an environment that is suitable for the needs of the people, but also keeping in mind that the health of the people, the physical health as well as the mental health of the people is something that you always focus on. And you also try and challenge the IT infrastructure footprint. So you're also able to ensure that the emissions, the power consumption is at bay.
Incredible. Incredible, Mr. Gnanasekaran. All right. So before we wrap up, I would love to bring this into the mix. You recently joined Directors Institute, and given everything you have already achieved in your career, I'm curious. I'm really curious. What was that experience like for you? What stood out about the program?
You see, I'm a homegrown leader. I'm a leader in my own organization. I'm a leader who understands my customers, our customers. But I know that directors leadership actually brings the leaders from different verticals, different organizations, different environment, different background together. And in one of the banking sector projects, I told you that when beautiful minds work together, the output is enormous. So here, what really impresses me is that Directors Leadership Program actually brings the experience, the real life experience of thought through leaders, the programs that is curated by these leaders. And it's not something that's just fixed on a piece of paper. You actually are able to understand what leaders who you're not able to connect with every single day have decided to leave a legacy for you in the form of a curated program that you hopefully will be able to learn a few bits and pieces. In addition to that, you also are going to be part of, I am going to be part of a community of leaders who come with hopefully the same ambition and inspirations. So again, it's a great opportunity to be in a good network of people who have the similar mindset, similar behavior, similar leadership thoughts, no matter which environment and background they come from. And that's what really inspired me to join this program, and that's what I'm actually looking forward as well.
And that's so encouraging to hear, Mr. Gnanasekaran. It's always great when learning actually meets you where you are in your career and gives you something real to carry forward.
It is true. Learning never stops.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So let me tell you, Mr. Gnanasekaran, this has been such a refreshing conversation from managing global teams to navigating high stakes turnarounds and reflecting on leadership in the boardroom. Your journey is packed with insight, and I'm sure our audience are walking away with a lot of value today.
Thank you very much. As I said, I have been blessed with the opportunities to learn under the leadership of some of the truly proven and acclaimed leaders in this IT industry. And I also have had the right opportunities with problems that really stood out, and the experiences that I have gathered from solving this problem is what made me what I am today, and the problems that I'm working on today with real dedication and real honesty for my team, for my organization, for my customers, will hopefully shape my future.
Absolutely. And thank you once again, Mr. Gnanasekaran, for joining in.
Thank you very much for having me here today. It's a real pleasure to have this conversation with you.
Likewise. And to our audience, so thank you for tuning into FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast by Directors Institute. If you found today's episode inspiring, do not forget to share it with someone who is ready to lead, learn, and level up. Until next time, stay curious and stay bold. Thank you so much and have a nice time.